Check 1 2. Oh boy. Wow. Forgot to hit the switch scene. So yeah, kind of playing with the GUI library, sort of playing around with the night ideas. Oh yeah, it's not gonna start up. Um, yeah, I have to send a rectangle, but rectangle is not a technically a rect. Pause. um, yeah, so it's not the normal settings for a rectangle, so it's not gonna work the same way. Um, so what I have to do is let me do that. No? Why it's there? That's the one that I want. Additional argument. Oh, freaking dummy. Uh, there we go. Okay, so that gives me that. Okay, so GPT, what were you telling me now? Let's see if it'll start up. No found working directory. What? Oh, because I moved it. Oh, but why does it? Oh, because it's calling it from the game. That's right. I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, see, it already exists. WTF. Oh, what do you call it there? That is because I didn't add all of this crap. All the type checking and whatnot. Go for All right, all right. Okay, now is it gonna start? See. Oh, string tuple. Only concatenate tuple. String tuple. What? That'd be a string by then, though. 63. Okay. Oh. I think that's it, right? Oh, come on. Do 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 do. Okay, so where is this getting set? Where? Hey, there we go. Yeah, so I've just been trying to get this scrolling to work. It's kind of working. Almost, but you can see the clipping is kind of jacked up. Yeah, so gotta get this, I might have to, add a new text object. Well, that's kind of what I'm doing here. And, yeah. Why is that so loud for me? Holy smokes. There we go. I could hear myself think now. Yeah, so this is how I've been trying to just figure out how to, Oh, so why do I have to assign font there? Guess I don't, do I? Oh, I do. Why do I? Is that because it's a... because the defaults are given, maybe? I don't know. But I do want to go like this to make this a bit easier on the eyes. Do 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 do. Okay, so yeah, back to this crap. Kind of thinking here. Because I noticed, other than the clipping going wrong, see when I move the mouse up here, that happens. Why does that happen? That shouldn't happen. Um, hmm. How does this one do that? Very interesting. Hmm. What the heck? So what happens if I bring Look here. Whoops. What the shit, bro? It was working before. Why? Why is the clip even changing? Clip shouldn't change. What? Yeah, hold on. Why? How do I get rid of the clipping on the text? That is the question. That is the question. Hopefully that'll think it's just 0. I'm kind of curious where. Yeah, see, what the shit, man. I wish I knew what I was doing. Not even clipping properly. Oh, that doesn't even take any text. What's up with that? Why didn't that work? What? This is some BS. Hmm. Something tells me that this is always going to be the same instance for some reason. I don't know why. But what's the deal, bruh? Gotta do some research. YouTube, scrollable text area, pygame. Scrollable text. Text bar. Scroll bar. Sliders. That's a little long. Yeah, we'll just go with it.
Hello, welcome to another Pygame tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to add sliders into your Pygame application. So here is a little bit of introduction code that I have linked on my GitHub. It's just a simple menu class that connects to our application and uses the screen variable to draw things on. And all I'm doing is I'm getting the mouse position and the mouse input and then filling the screen with black. So with that being said, let's get into it. So the first thing we want to do is create our actual slider class. So for this, I'm going to create a new class called slider, and then I need the constructor, and this constructor is going to take a few values. So the first one is going to be the position, which is going to be of type tuple. The next one is going to be the size, which is going to be of type tuple, and then we're going to get the initial value, which is going to be of an int, and then we're going to get the minimum value, which is going to be of type int, the maximum value, which is going to be of type int. Actually, this initial value is going to be of type float. My apologies. Alright, so with that being said, let's go ahead and get this all set up. So we need to actually give these values to our class here. So we're going to do self.position equals position. Then we're going to do self.size equals size. Now we need a couple convenience values here. And the reason we're going to get the left of the slider, the right of the slider, and the top of the slider. And you might be saying, well, we already have the position, so
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't just do this from the beginning. It would have made this whole process a lot easier. This. Side. Whack. Okay, so
Why do we need that? The reason is because the position is going to be the actual center of the slider, and we're doing this because, in my personal opinion, UI should be assigned its position based on its center, and this.
Okay, actually, before I get too far into this, I'm gonna take a minute here and am I still streaming? Yeah, okay. Gonna take a minute here and go make a coffee because I want to actually get this thing working proper. And I'm gonna be up for a bit, so just give me a minute here and I'll be back in a minute. And thanks for tuning in. If you happen to check out the stream, hopping in and out, it's all good. Lurkers unite. All right, I'll be back in a minute, folks.
this is for a ton of different reasons. The main one being that text has a varying width.
Okay, hold on. Let me back up here. Whoop. Chair just rolled on the headphone cord. Not good. Not good at all. Okay, let me back up.
And this is for a ton of different reasons. The main one being that text has a varying width and varying height. So it is easier to assign the center of the text than for example, the top left, because you don't know how big it's going to be.
Looks like I should. Current position. Add it.
So in my personal opinion, assigning the center makes it a little bit easier to organize things, especially when a lot of your UI stuff is actually preferred to be centered properly. So here we're going to be getting the left, right, and top of it. And so basically our slider here, if I open up Paint, our slider is going to be here, and we are going to be defining the center. And then we are going to basically getting the left here, and the right here, and then the top here. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get that. So we have the self.slider left position, which is going to be equal to our self.position at 0, and we're going to subtract half of the width, so size at 0, floor divided by 2. And then the right position is going to be the exact same. Make sure you change it to right position, but instead we add half the width. Top position is going to be self.slider top position. It's going to be equal to the self.position at 1, and then we're going to subtract half of the height. So size at 1 divided by floor divided by 2. So now we have some nice little attributes that'll make our life easier. Now we need to store our min and our max value. So self.min equals min, self.max equals max.
Oh, what am I doing? Plus size. And then we need to store the initial value. And the initial value here, the reason we store it as a float
is because this initial value is actually going to be a percentage of our data here. The reason that we're using a percentage instead of using an actual value is because it makes it easier to position our button relative to the size of the slider. So for example, if we make it 50%, it's a lot easier to calculate than if we were to set a specific value. And this is just a personal thing that I find a little bit easier. So let's go ahead and set our initial value using and knowing this is a percentage. So we do self.initial value is equal to, in parentheses, self.slider right position minus self.slider left position, and then we multiply this by our initial position, or initial value here. My apologies. And I'm going to make a little comment just to show that this is a percentage. Alright, so now we are going to define the two recs that we're going to be using for our slider. The first rec is going to be the container, which is going to be the bounds of our slider.
Slider right. Oh. Spelled it right. Hope this slide works.
And then the next one is going to be the actual button that we're going to be using for defining where we are on our slider and what value it has. So the self.container rect is going to be equal to pygame.rect. And for the X position, we're going to take the slider left position. And then for the top position, we're going to do the slider top position. Or for the Y, we're going to do slider top position. And then for the width, we'll do self.size at 0. And then for the height, we'll do self.size at 1. And let's create the button rect. So self.buttonRect equals pygame.rect. And then for the X position, we want the self.slider left position. And then we want to add this initial value, self.initial value. And then because our button is not going to be 0 pixels wide, we need to offset it by half of the width. So we're going to subtract it by 5 because I want mine to be 10. And so this means that the X value will be equal to the actual value, because we want it to be a little bit off so that the middle of it, which is what we're going to be using for calculating our value, is going to be equal to the actual value that we want. And so here, now let's add our Y position, which is simply going to be self.slider top position. So self.slider top position here. And then we need our width, which is 10, and then we need our self.size at 1. There we have our button rect here. And now let's go ahead and add a little
Please. Button rect.
little render, which is going to be used for our debugging here. So we need the self and our app. And just for debugging purposes, let's just get these up and running before we add any functionality. So pygame.draw.rect and then app.screen, or whatever your display variable is called. The color for the container, I'm going to do dark gray. And then for the rect, I'm going to do self.containerRect. Then I'm going to duplicate this and make sure that I'm doing a different color for this, so blue. And then self.buttonRect. And now inside of our menu, we'll simply do a little debugging statement. Let's first create a slider object. So I'm going to create a list of sliders. So self.sliders equals, and then in this list, I'm going to do a slider. And this slider is going to be positioned in the center. I already have a little variable called UI.center that stores our center value, but you can just manually put it in. So UI.center. And then for the size, I'm going to do 100 by 30. And then for the initial value, I'm going to do 0.5, which is 50%. The minimum value, I'm going to do 0. For the maximum value, I'm going to do 100. And then here in the run, I'm just going to do for slider in self.sliders, slider.render, and then send it the self.app. So it has the screen to draw. And now if we run this, we see nothing. We are filling the screen with black afterwards. Whoopsies. All right. There we go. Now we're filling the screen before. There we go. We have our little slider here positioned exactly in the middle. So that's all good and up and running. But we need to be able to actually interact with the slider. So let's add some interaction functionality.
Sliders, slider. That's my stuff.
We have our little slider here positioned exactly in the middle. There we go. Now we're filling the screen before. There we go. All right. so it has the screen to draw. Or slider in self.sliders.
Ooh. Where is that? Oh yeah.
Slider.render, and then send it the self.app. So it
Later. Don't I have a render?
as the screen to draw. And now, if we run this, we see nothing. We are filling the screen with black.
Okay, so oh, got something to spawn, but it's full width of the not centered. Doesn't have.
Afterwards. Whoopsies. All right. There we go. Now we're filling the screen before. There we go. We have our little slider here positioned exactly in the middle. So that's all good and up and running. But we need to be able to actually interact with the slider. So let's.
Did I type something in? Minus. There we go.
There we go. Now we're filling the screen before. There we go. We have our little slider here positioned exactly in the middle. So that's all good and up and running. But we need to be able to actually interact with the slider. So let's add some interaction functionality. So for this, we will do a new method called move slider. So I'll do def move slider self. And then here, all we're going to do is we're going to actually receive the mouse position as an argument. So mouse position. And then all we're going to do is we're going to do self.buttonRect.centerX equals mouse position at 0. And then inside of our loop here, all we have to do is have one check. So
Actually, I'm paying attention.
self.buttonRect.centerX.
Button.
Equals mouse position
X equals mouse
at 0. And then inside of our loop here, all we have to do is have one check. So if slider.containerRect.collide point, and then all we have to do is get the mouse position, which we already have here. So the mouse position, then slider.move slider. And we need to send it this mouse position as well. Now if we run this, I misspelled CenterX. Now it should all work. As you can see, it's following it pretty well, but we only want it to happen whenever we're clicking. So all I'm going to do is make sure that add an extra conditional.
Hold on. Move slider. Oh.
So we're going to do and mouse at 0.
Just generally curious now, will it work if I put that there? No. Okay. Oh. If slider. expected tuple. Expected tuple. Why is that? Int. Slider. Position.
This is just using our mouse, pygame.mouse to git press. 0 in the brackets means left click, 2 means right click. If you want to do middle mouse, it's 1. So there you go. And if we run this, now you can
And
Zero in the brackets means left click, 2 means right click. If you want to do middle mouse, it's 1. So there you go. And if we run this, now you can see nothing happens until we click and then it follows our mouse.
rip. I have to put this. No, that's great. Oh wait, dude. Work, right? Hmm. But I need. I think I know what I need to do. I need to watch the rest of this tutorial, make the slider on its own, then import it. Same way that. Yeah, the same way that the text is being imported, but that would be a scroll. Yeah, I think that's what I'm getting confused. Because by adding it in here, throwing this off because there's no actual run happening in here, so it doesn't know to update the button. That's my guess. So I have to actually write this separately, its own script. Not a huge deal. Copy's gone cold. But I'm just gonna watch the rest of this the way through instead of pausing it, seeing as how I'm just wasting time just staring at the code. But I'm gonna take one quick minute again and go heat this up. Not really cold, I like my hot coffee. So I will be right back. Alright, let's watch the rest of this.
And you can see that it snaps to our mouse, which is what I personally like.
Probably
for my
gonna
sliders.
watch it one more
However,
time.
if you want it to only work when you're clicking on this, simply change this conditional from if container rect.collide point to if button rect.collide point, and that's how you change that. So now we need to actually make this useful and get the value of our slider. And so for this, we're going to add a new method. I'm going to do def get value, set itself, and here we're going to be using a pixels to calculate our value. And so I'm going to explain a little bit about how this is going to work. So here we're going to have our slider, and we're basically going to take the pixel position and then of the left pixel position, and we're going to subtract that from the right pixel position to get our range here. And then we're going to take the button position, we're going to take that, and then we're going to take this, and we're going to calculate the percentage that this is out of this whole piece. And the reason that we're using pixels here instead of the max and the min values is because we want this to be infinitely scalable, so that we can make a slider this big, we can make a slider this big, assign them the exact same ranges, and they will have the exact same max and mins, and it will all work infinitely scalable. So now that we know that, let's go ahead and implement it. So what we're going to do that is we need the value range. So I'm going to do the value range is equal to the self.slider right position minus the self.slider left position, and then we need the button value, which is equal to the self.buttonRect.centerX minus the self.slider left position. And then all we need to do for our percentage that we're getting, we are returning the button value divided by the value range multiplied by the self.max minus the self.min, and then we need to add the self.min. So basically what we are doing is we are getting the percentage with the button value divided by the value range, and then we are multiplying it by our max minus our min, and then we are adding our min. So we're treating the min like an offset pretty much. And so that's how we get the value given the percentage based on the pixel position of our slider relative to the position of our slider itself. So that being said, there's only one more thing to do. But before I do that, I'm going to use this and show you the issue firsthand. So here all I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little debugging statement. I'm going to do print slider.getValue. And then if we go to main here, we run it. Inside of our terminal, we'll see we have 50. And as we move it down, we get all the way and we go to 0 here, I believe. It should go to 0, or maybe not. And then we go all the way here and we go to 99. And what you'll notice is that we can't quite get to this 100 over here. We can get to the 0, although it is a little bit hard, but we can't get to the 99. And this is because of pixel collision. It's a little bit off and it's a little bit hard because the pixel collision is so exact. So we want to make a little bit of a padding, and we're literally just going to make this padding equal to 0.5 pixels on each side. So the way we do that is very, very simple. All you have to do is subtract 1 to the value range, and you're done. And that's it. That's all you got to do. And so now if we run this main again, and we see this, we can go all the way to 0, and then all the way to 100. Perfectly fine. As you can see, it's also a lot easier to get to these end values here. There we go. And there you go. Let's just go.
I feel like this is a good video so far. He's taken into account to the pixel values and all that. I think I'm gonna roll with this.
Go ahead and make sure.
I hope he actually puts like a text box in there so you could actually move stuff around. There's about a few minutes left here. We'll see how it goes.
That this works with different sized sliders. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this. And then I'm also going to make this print statement only happen whenever I'm currently using that as my active slider. And then I'm just going to make these in different spots. So I'm going to make this one 50 down. So UI slider center 0, UI slider center 1 plus 50. And then I'm actually just going to duplicate that instead and make it easier on me. And then offset this one by 100. Then I'm going to make this one 300 wide. And let's make this one 40 tall, and I'll make this one 1000 wide, and I'll make this one only 20 tall. And we'll keep all the ranges exactly the same to really show that this works. So now we have these sliders at different heights, just to show off that that works. As you can see, this one works as intended, where we go all the way to 100 and then all the way to 0 at the end. And this one also goes all the way to 0 at the end and all the way to 100 there. And this one, the same way, even though it's huge, it has the exact same range, which is pretty cool. But another cool thing about this is that the values, for one, don't have to start at 0. So I'm going to make this middle one set to 50 to 100. So this only has a range of 50 values. And then I'm going to make this one equal where the beginning is 300 and the end is 100. So it's a decreasing slider, which is a little bit unorthodox, but we can absolutely work with it. So using this main here, we have just a regular one as before, but now this one only goes from 100 at the right to 50 at the left. And this one here, as you can see when we click on it, we're at 200 here, we go all the way over, we're at 100, and we go all the way over here and we're at 300. As you can see, that works pretty well. So that's pretty much it for this tutorial. There's a couple more like extra functionalities you can do, like changing the width of your slider here. But that's not really that hard. You can just hard code it, or you can make it malleable via like the object creation itself. But it doesn't really change anything. It's all the same stuff. It's just a different slider size here. But with that being said, that's basically the entire tutorial. So thank you very much. Have a good day. See you guys. Hello, welcome to another pygame tutorial.
Alright, yeah. Although it's not the vertical slider also, that could be easily changed. Let's actually try to find another one real quick. Oh, scrolling text. That's more like exactly what I need.
So that show you the essential technique we're going to use and the code that does that. So this isn't exactly the code we're going to show you, but it's very close. So first you need a surface that you're going to roll the text and scroll it up onto. So we create a surface. It's going to have a size that's high enough to show certain lines of text. And
this is going to be it, I think. Will this start? Yeah, because see, then this kind of demonstrates, like, I want text to scroll up and down here, like as the bot like says it, and when it reaches the end of the line and then fills this out, I want it to start scrolling.
width that will allow you to show the longest line. So then we create the surface that holds the first line of text. So this is normally how you draw text anyway. So you just render the first line of text into text 1, which is a surface. So here's a picture of what that is. And then you blit that surface to surface 1. And we start at the top. And so self y is going to keep track of where we're going to draw it. So we're going to increment it by delta y, which we'll get from the size of the text, and you'll see that in the code. And so it's going to increment here after we've drawn it, ready to draw the next line of text. So we just go ahead and draw the lines of text. So we'll draw this line, and we're incrementing delta y each time. And so basically each loop through to draw a line of text, you render a new line of text, you blit it to the right place on the surface, and then increment it. And what you're looking for is when you get to a point where the line doesn't fit. So here's an example. This line won't scroll up because it won't fit on the surface 1. So what you have to do now is scroll everything up. So the way you do that is you basically blit the whole surface here, surface 1, onto surface 1, and you roll it up minus delta. So basically all this text rolls up here. So the top.
Oh, okay. Yeah, see, he's breaking it down. I already have this pretty much set up, kind of. Yeah, so I think this might actually be better. This might be, well, shoot.
It's going to have a size that's high enough to show certain lines of text and scroll it up onto. So we create a surface and width that will allow you to show the longest line. So then we create the surface that holds the first line of text. So this is normally how you draw text anyway. So you just render the first line of text into text 1, which is a surface. So here's a picture of what that is. And then you blit that surface to surface 1. And we start at the top. And so self y is going to keep track of where we're going to draw it. So we're going to increment it by delta y, which we'll get from the size of the text, and you'll see that in the code. And so it's going to increment here after we've drawn it, ready to draw the next line of text. So we just go ahead and draw the lines of text. So we'll draw this line, and we're incrementing delta y each time. And so basically each loop through to draw a line of text, you render a new line of text, you blit it to the right place on the surface, and then increment it. And what you're looking for is when you get to a point where the line doesn't fit. So here's an example. This line won't scroll up because it won't fit on the surface 1. So what you have to do now is scroll everything up. So the way you do that is you basically blit the whole surface here, surface 1, onto surface 1, and you roll it up minus delta. So basically all this text rolls up here. So the top line of text, because it's going minus delta, is going to roll off the surface. Anything outside the surface gets clipped. So you end up with this. Now what happens when you do this, this last line of text, since you're copying all this up 1, is still there. So you need to erase it. So the next thing is you have to erase the rectangle for that last line of text with your background. Okay, here's the code for what we're going to use. I'm running in pycharm, which is one of my favorite editors that you can get from the community edition for free. So we basically import some packages we're going to use. We define some colors we're going to use. And then this class text scroll is what actually does the scrolling. And we're going to go into that, and that's primarily where all the action I just covered in the slides happen. Let's go down to our main program. So we're going to run a main program called example 1. I have 2 examples in here. This one does some extra things like draws rectangles around the areas we're going to be drawing to, so you can see what's going on. And then there's example 2, which does a longer story, and it's more like what you would actually do. So we're going to run through running through example 1. So we're going to go ahead and start it. So basically this, when main starts up, it just calls this OS environment, STL video. You can set the window position. So we're setting it for a window over here because I'm debugging, so just offset a little bit. We initialize pygame. We create the screen, so this will be the size of our window. We fill it with white, and we start the clock. Okay, and then we set up a font we're going to use for what we're going to be doing. And then we set up a rectangle in our area that we want to actually scroll within. And we're going to draw a blue line around it a little bigger, so we create another area, a rectangle from that, where we take that area and just make it 2 bigger in every direction. And that's what inflate does. So we have area, and then we're going to draw a box around it. So we're going to draw that box on the screen, and then we're going to flip it to the display. So we'll run to this point with the debugger, and I'll show you what happens. So it just runs, and we draw a blue box there. Okay, so let me reset that. Okay, so now we actually call text scroll, and this is going to set things up. So let's go look at that. So text scroll up here here's the constructor. It takes an area to draw into, what font we're going to use, what the color of the text will be, which is the foreground color. The background color is how we erase what's behind the text. The actual text we
Okay, so I think this is gonna be the one. Assuming. Well, actually, hold on. Let's see.
want to draw, which is all the lines, and then how fast we want it to scroll up. So you can change this to make it go slower or faster. Let's make it go pretty slow right now. So let's make it 800 milliseconds per line. So we just copy those. So we copy the area to our object values. So we're going to have a rectangle, foreground, background color, the size. We create a surface. So we create a surface that's going to be drawn on the display here. And that's going to be the surface. We fill it with background color. We get the font. We split the text up into an array of individual lines, or actually a list. We save the milliseconds per line. Then we set our initial position. So this was in the slides. So we're going to start at 0. So the first text is going to go at the very top. And the delta is going to be the height of a letter. So you would call font size, and we get the height parameter from the tuple it returns for the size. And the size it returns is the width and the height. So that remembers the height, and that's how much we're going to move to draw the next line. We have a flag, which is called next time, and we have a dirty flag to tell it if we've changed something. So we'll see how that works. Okay, and then this is going to be the main routine that's going to handle drawing a line. So this is a lot of what we did on the slideshow before is right in this routine. You just give it a line of text. It adds the delta to y to test if we're at the bottom. So that's the first thing we want to do. If the delta plus y is past the size of the box, then we're going to scroll up. So this is that line of text, line of code I showed you in the slides, where we copy the whole area up by the delta, negative delta, and that scrolls it up. We update the y to be the next delta. We should actually go back one since we're backing up. And then we draw the rectangle of solid color to erase the very bottom text. And then if we weren't scrolling or whatever we do, we just render the text. We render the text.
I think this is all that I need. Just
we
this
draw a
update
rectangle
line.
around it. This is just for demo here. You normally wouldn't have this. And then you surface split the text to the y position. If we weren't scrolling or whatever we do, we update the y to be going to scroll up. So this is it adds the delta terms as the width and the height. So that, and we have a dirty flag to tell it if we've changed something. So we'll see how that works. Okay, and then this is going to be the main routine that's going to handle drawing a line. So this is a lot of what we did on the slideshow before. If we weren't scrolling or whatever we do, we just render the text. We render the text. We draw a rectangle around it. This is just for demo here. You normally wouldn't have this. And then you surface split the text to the y position. Then you just increment the delta, the y by the delta. So you go to the next line. Now update is typically what gets called from the main pygame loop. So every time you get a click on the clock, you call this. So it's going to get the current time. If the time is none, which we haven't done anything yet, or the next time, which marks when we should be doing the next line, is still less than now, and we have lines to do, then we're going to go ahead and draw. So what's going to do, it's going to set the next time period. It's going to get the line from the list of text, so it's going to pop it off, and it's going to call update line to do the thing with it. It's going to set dirty, which is going to tell the main py group to call draw, and then it calls update again. So that's in case it takes too long. If you have the time set to 0, it'll just scroll as fast as it can run. So that's to handle that. If the time's not up, update will just return. Okay, and then draw just checks if it's dirty and it blitzed the surface that we've been working on to the screen at the rectangle area, and then sets dirty the false. So that's basically it. So let's run it here. You can see what's happening. So it draws it, it starts scrolling up, and that's it. So you can play with it. So all you have to do is do more lines. Now the second example is longer, so I'm going to go down here and change this to example 2 and run it. And it gives you a little quote from Shakespeare. And if you want to take these lines off, you go to up here.
Interesting. Yeah, good video. Oh, he has a little GitHub too. Oh, I wonder if I could just do a little snaggy doodles of some code. Test scroll. Let me give this a try, because yeah. Okay, so don't really want to use this. I'm gonna put the sliders on the back end, because this would just solve this little current issue that I have now, and I just want to kind of get this working, get this little AI assistant bot kind of working. So I leave some more stuff in here. 161. Yeah, okay, so I could yes, I think this would be good. Let's see if I can get this working. Okay, so check 1 2. Is my mic working? Yeah, okay. It's just not picking me up because it's way the heck down there. Uh Whoops. Do I want to split it by word? Then sure it does. For a list or a dictionary? Hey, think it actually working. I think. I think. Oh yeah, it did work. Like it. So, 65? No. Update. Wrong spot. Oh, why the heck? Okay, so when we're drawing the message, what's happening here? Onto the surface, which should be direct, which I think it is, but why does it? It's because I'm not choosing the right colors. So that's the text color, and then the background color. Text color, background color. Background color can stick. Yeah, but my question is, why does the text disappear? Shouldn't. Yeah, WTF. Wonder if the surface No, that would have to be that interact. Hmm. Oh, that's why, because I was looking for a list before, and this is I see. Now what happens if I give it this? String has no pop. 50. That's because I'm not splitting it. But this is where it was giving me problems. This isn't gonna work. Because I actually do need stuff in a list form. Wait, what? Oh, do I actually have to do that? It's kind of working, but not really. Kinda, not really, sorta. Can I even still ask it questions? What is 200 multiplied by that many? Just to be sure, what is 1 times 4? Working, but I can handle the question. Oh, that changed. That changed color. So again, I'm on my laptop. Takes a while. Solve this equation. Need to perform operation, and I still don't have word wrapping going here, so okay, so it still works. It still is. stuff. Okay, so now it's on to the next question. I'm working, but I can handle more questions. I don't want to add any more into the, or you know what I should do is add top or alt get, or forget this question, forget last question. Or forget, yeah, forget and halt next, sort of thing. Wow, it's taking its time. Wait, what? Why did it do that? Wasn't that the last question? Oh, no, it wasn't. Oh, no. That's why that number was so big. I was wondering why that number was so big. And the number is 4, and now it should say, how can I help you? Yep. Cool. Yeah. Why does it flash like that, though? Like what? maybe I trick. Can't that be the text got going on? I think I can. Yeah. This, oh no, that's the. Okay. No. Hmm. Surely it's not worth. What would happen? Alright. Or no, that's not gonna. The crap is. How in the... Or maybe I'm... Here we go. Correct. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think of something else because I'd be able to get away with. Okay, so that actually did give me an idea. I could actually just check the word count and then, or actually no. I'm just gonna have to try to figure stuff out. Not what I wanted to. That has to. Uh, why did that change? That size change? Have not had. Here. Have to get the Hmm. I think I can use this. I'm gonna have to do some chopping up here. I can use this to X, zooming 0. Oh, wait. Help me here. I mean, like I should be just trying to write this myself instead of taking shortcuts like I've been wasting. Easy. Ugh. Being lazy right now, that's the problem. Is the problem. I haven't noticed. 90, 90. Oh. Uh, okay. Does actually give me the width. Now I get the width. Wider than that, we gotta go to a new line. That's technically what I want to do. I just been like pussyfooting around, trying to take shortcuts, and really this is all I had to do. I think I or technically no. That's where I do gotta. Yeah. Yeah, because I would add addition of it. Or I would yeah, I would Why does that work? Wait. Hmm. Like, I know this isn't correct, but actually, And how am I gonna increment? I just have to do this by a max amount of words, opposed to do it by a max amount of that's the way I'm gonna have to do it. Count however many words have been pasted or posted, and then increment Y. Just by the nature of how the messages are displayed. Permanent word wrapping, but then it'll be kind of hard coded in there. I don't know if I like that. So I'm going to take 2 minutes and go heat up some coffee. I will be back in a bit. Happen to be lurking. I apologize. I'm loafed in right now. Not really doing much, staring at a screen, but it is appreciated if you are. I've been working on. What is cap of Washington D? Oh wow, what is that? Why did that go up there? Why did that do that? Oh, I must have. Did I hit enter by mistake and send through? Yeah, I think that's what happened. But I will be right back. Just gonna go heat up some coffee, folks. All right. So I think I'm gonna probably call the stream. Austin really doing much other than him and Han about doing stuff, so come up with a plan and actually follow through with it. So hopefully that guessing more or less. Yeah, I gotta watch a few more videos on PyCharm, get some more research and yeah, that sort of thing. So yeah, happen to tune in. Thanks for tuning in. It's much appreciated, folks. Oh,